This is Ultimate Soccer with Soccer Steve.
And welcome in, guys. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're getting ready for the Scottish League Cup final. And for Celtic and Rangers fans, it's definitely Friday night on the pop, Saturday night on the pop, getting ready for Sunday in the stadium. It's going to be a magical game. And that's Celtic and Rangers fans all over the world. And by the way, if you're not a seasoned soccer fan, then we've got some history for you. If you are a seasoned soccer fan, this might remind you of a few things. I'm not going too in depth. We're giving you some great knowledge, but it's also about entertaining you as well. It's not dry, it's not boring, so stick with us. The things we're going to cover for both Celtic and Rangers fans. By the way, this splits my family in two, the Celtic and the Rangers game. I seem to be over here. My brother seems to be over there. How many families does this split? I mean, I'm over there, remember? My brother's over there. How many families does this split? Every Old Firm game. Sometimes people don't talk. But anyway, sticking to the League Cup final. And if you're a newbie, if you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe, and stick with us. If you're not a newbie and you have been here before, remember to like the channel. It helps us grow. It helps us get further. And by the way, Scottish Cup football, I've watched it all for years and I love it. I really do. I love the vitality of the Scottish football, the Scottish leagues. It really is something very, very special. So you Scottish fans, you know that. Anyway, if you don't, you do now. And if you're not Scottish, you do too. So getting into the League Cup final sort of things, touching history, we're going to talk about some of the finals. We're going to talk about the trophy, how it came about, etc. Talk about the most wins, who's had them, who wishes they did, the last win. Talk about the last 10 finals, and that tells a story. Let me tell you, if you're Celtic or Rangers or whoever in Scottish football, that really does tell a story. I'm going to give you my final prediction at the end of this, and all the pundits, you know, Ali McCoist and the likes of Chris Sutton, they're all split down the middle. No one's leaning one way. They're either Celtic or Rangers, and obviously by colour, they're going that way too. But it's pretty even. People are sort of, I'll tell you at the end of it, but so the pundits are split. I'll tell you what I think at the end of it. Tell me what you think down below. And after the game, we're doing a post-game too. So we're talking about final prediction. And also we've got the highlights on here from last year's final. Stick around. You're going to enjoy this. Let's get into this.
Oh, wow. That's pretty good.
Oh, yeah. So as you know where we are and all that, Glasgow, Scotland. If you're not in Scotland, you might not know the layout of the city. I've been to Glasgow many times. I've been to Hampden Park many times. I've been to international games. I've been to quite a few games. I've been to Scotland many times. Love going there. Love the people. You're fantastic. Kick yourselves royally in the right direction on Sunday, because I tell you, you make a lot of noise, but you're great to be around. But no, I've been to Scotland many times. But for someone who's not been into Scotland or not been into Glasgow, then I'm going to show you the layout of the city. I'm going to show you firstly where Hampden Park situates itself. Then we'll show you Ibrox, and then we'll show you Parkhead, where obviously Rangers and Celtic play their respective games. Obviously, Rangers at Ibrox and Celtic at Parkhead. Take a look at this video. We'll be back to talk some history right after. Enjoy. Rangers versus Celtic Scottish League Cup final. I thought I'd show you, if you're not from Glasgow, where the stadiums are. Firstly, Hampden Park. That's the National Theatre, just showing you right now. Then we'll show you Ibrox, that's where Rangers play, and that's their half of the city. And then over to the right, showing you now, well, that's Celtic's ground and Parkhead. So there you go, that's how Celtic sort of breaks down. That's the National Stadium, Hampden outside. And that's Hampden Park on the inside. Let's talk history. So there you go. You see the layout of Glasgow, and I'll tell you what, I've been in Glasgow many times, and like I said, I love going to Glasgow. It's just an amazing city with amazing people. And the first ever trip on the road to a football match was to Hampden Park with David McGregor from Glasgow, a Scotsman, wonderful fella. And if you want to know the story, it was an England-Scotland match that I went to as a kid, down below, way down below in the library. It's probably a year old or so, but it tells the story of going to Scotland as a wee lad. And I was a wee lad going to the England-Scotland game up at Hampden Park. Yeah. Anyway, sticking to this one. Scottish League Cup final came about in 1946. So it's a post-war competition. A few competitions are pre-war, but this is a post-war competition. And the finals mainly, in the main, have come off at Hampden Park, which obviously, you know, is the National Theatre, the national venue, the National Stadium. But when they do renovations, they got to look for another big stadium. So they alternate when they need to between Ibrox, Rangers, and Parkhead, Celtic. Both massive stadiums, can take care of finals, no problem whatsoever. Now, the trophy came around from a man called John McMahon. And John McMahon was a long-term chairman at Clyde, and he was a long-term league chairman of the Scottish Football League. And he donated the trophy. It's been in existence ever since, and that's the trophy that is handed out each and every year. Now, talking about the trophy being handed out, the first ever trophy handed out, Situation Session, was 1946, and it was Rangers against Aberdeen, and Rangers ran out 4-0 winners. And you got to say, 4-0 on your first trip, pretty good. Now, talking about the most wins, or let's talk about how many times you've been in the final. Rangers have won the thing 27 times and been in 8 losses in 35 finals. Celtic has won 20, lost 15, 35 finals. So for both teams this year, it's final number 36. Yeah, 36. There's a few pictures we're going to show you as we go through this, but final number 36 for both teams. In the last 10 years, Celtic's won 6 League Cup finals. Rangers has not won one. Not a single one. In fact, 2019, if my memory serves me right, Celtic beat Rangers 1-0 in the final at Hampden Park. That's the last time Rangers got to the final, and that's the last time in the last 10 years. And like I say, Celtic has won 6 of the last 10. Not 6 on the bounce, but 6 of the last 10. Now, talking about where's this going to go, you know, everybody's pretty much down the middle. It's a pretty tight game, I've got to say, and if I'm going to pick a team, I'm going to go with Celtic on this one. Last game out was a good 2-2 tie. Celtic were winning that right till the end, and that was at Ibrox not long ago, a couple of weeks back. It was a tight game. Celtic should have took it home, but give credit to Rangers. They battled on through. Now, recent form, both teams are pretty decent. Both teams stack up well. I'm interested to see with one guy, though. I'm not picking anything, though, but Cantwell. I'm interested to see what Cantwell's going to do in this final. It's kind of interesting. He kind of went to sleep in the English game, but seems to maybe reviving that career as well. But for the main, I think you've got to say it's probably a 2-1 for Celtic. A lot of people would love the Rangers 2-1. My brother would indeed. My brother, like I say, early on in, he's big Rangers, I'm big Celtic, and that's just the way it is. The family split. My dad is originally from Belfast. Belfast Celtic mount all the way through and through, so hence he's going to be over there, right? So, and I went with my old man, and my brother's like, not a chance. I'm not going Celtic. Why? I don't know. I have no idea. But same family, split down the middle. There's no argy-bargy. There's no fighting. There's no trouble. But it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Now, take a look at last year's highlights from the final, and we'll talk to you straight after that. Corner to Hibernian. Ball comes across, going to the back post. Hanlon makes the run. Hanlon gets on it. It's in the net. It's in the net, and Joe Hart has it in his hands, but it's across the line. Let's have a celebration. 1-0 Hibernian. And that's the way it was at that stage of the game, but he didn't stay there long. But great back post header. The smoky celebrations, though, led to a goal for Celtic. You can barely see it over the top. Furuhashi runs in, scores. Oh, what a blinding finish. But you've got to say, the smoke celebrations, Hibernian fans, come on. Let's see that one more time. Celtic fans are well happy looking into that replay of that goal. The ball comes across, smoky, but the ball comes across. Was he offside? Looked a bit like he was. Looks like he's miles onside. In it goes. Final go. Furuhashi clears up the smoke. Now, no smoke. Watch that. Watch that. Watch that. Oh, yeah. Beautiful finish, and that was the winner from last year. One more time in slow motion, but take a look at that. What a beauty. Talking starting lineups, that's what I'm looking for Rangers. Pretty solid lineup. It's coming into some great form, as it has over the whole of the season, really. I mean, has Rangers ever had bad form? Not really much. I mean, intermittent, you drop one, yeah, for sure. But in the main, Rangers' form is pretty good. McGregor's solid in goal. Lundstrom, I'm impressed with recently. But Cantwell, I'm looking for Cantwell. How is he going to react? It's his first major championship final. How's he going to react in it? Some guys freeze and disappear in finals. Is he going to be a guy that disappears, or is he going to be the guy that helps make it for Rangers? I'm keeping my eyes on Cantwell. Everybody else is pretty well tested. I love Morelos, obviously, and the rest of the guys. But I'm worried, possibly about Cantwell. What are you thinking? I don't know. Just a concern. That's what I'm thinking. Let's take a look at Celtic. Celtic, on the other hand, that's what I'm looking at as well. I mean, I always say this much. My worry every time Celtic plays is the goalkeeping. He once in a while, he just stands on his head and does something miraculous. You're like, wow, that is impressive. That is impressive. And he looks the big guy. He looks the number one. He looks the total figure. And once in a while, something happens. You're like, what the bloody hell just happened there? It gives you visions of, like, you know, those guys that watch Man United. If you're watching Man United and you see David De Gea, he drops a clanger once in a while. And that's what I'm saying. I'm hoping Joey Hart don't drop a clanger here this weekend, because if he does, it could be detrimental. Now, on for the big wins and the little wins. Well, I'll tell you what, let's have a look at the wins all time. So as you can see, they stack up pretty close. I mean, Rangers is leading the race with 27 League Cup final victories. Celtic's got 20. If you want the overall number, we've played 432 games, Celtic Rangers so far. Rangers has got 168 wins, Celtic 162. So as you're looking at it with League Cup final wins, if Celtic wins, they go to 21. If Rangers win, they go to 28. Who's your winner? Where do you think it's going? Like I say, I think that Celtic has probably got this one. It's going to be tight. My big brother's probably hating my guts right now for saying it. He's probably throwing stuff to the screen at the moment as we speak, and he's in Australia at the moment. Yes, but I'm saying Celtic. What are you saying? What are you saying with this game? Anyway, enjoy the final, enjoy the game. Thought I'd just give you a little insight into what I'm thinking and a little bit more about the history of it. Not going too far in depth. Just giving some nice knowledge. Like I said, if you're new to the game or you're in Canada and you don't know much about the Scottish football or Rangers Celtic, the old firm, which is the oldest derby in world football, world soccer, sometimes we simplify things so that everybody stays on the same page. If you're an expert in soccer, then you probably didn't enjoy this. But if you're not an expert and you love just something different, you probably did. Okay, guys, remember, like I say all the time, please like, subscribe and like, share, and tap the notification button. Much love to everybody. Have a great day. Get ready for the final, because I know I am, and I couldn't miss it. And by the way, Canadian fans, Alistair Johnson, I'm calling him Scotty because he's with the Scottish team. Alistair Johnson, Canadian kid, lighting it up for the green and white hoops, is playing in the final. So you Canadian fans, get into it, because it's Alistair Johnson and the hoops. That's not just the reason why I'm supporting Celtic. But anyway, it's going to be a great final. And at the end of the day, whoever wins will be the best team. Enjoy the Scottish League Cup final. Please like and subscribe. Cheers.